Most people think that relationships end because of massive betrayal, a huge lie, or a giant explosion that levels the house. But if you talk to relationship counselors who have spent decades behind closed doors, they'll tell you something different. Most relationships don't end with a bang. They end with a whisper. They die from death by 1,000 cuts. They are slowly eroded by an invisible enemy that sits right between the two partners, quietly convincing them that their best friend is actually their opponent. We've spent this series talking about communication, modern challenges, and the pillars of clarity. But today, we're going to address the most dangerous factor of all, internal sabotage. We're going to look at the master of chaos metaphor, the psychological trap of mind reading, and the simple 21-day habit that can literally rewire your brain to stop looking for problems and start seeing the person you fell in love with. To defeat the invisible enemy, you have to learn a vital skill, listening to the intent, not the words. When people are hurt, tired, or overwhelmed, they lose their ability to use correct communication. They stop being clarity-focused and start being noise-focused. They say things they don't mean. They say, "You never do anything for me." They say, "I'm done with this." They say, "You're just like your mother or father." If you take these words literally, the saboteur wins. You get defensive, you fight back, and you escalate. A high-level partner looks at a shouting person and thinks, what is the need behind the noise? When someone says, "You're so selfish," what they are usually screaming is, "I feel like I'm carrying the weight of the world alone and I need you to notice me." If you address the selfish comment, you'll fight for 3 hours about who did more chores. If you address the "I feel alone" need, the fight ends in 3 minutes with a hug. The saboteur wants you to focus on the lyrics, the harsh words. Your job is to listen to the music, the underlying emotion. If the music is sad or scared, don't respond with anger. Respond with the compassion pillar we talked about in video 2. So, how do we make ourselves immune to these internal whispers? It turns out we can actually train our brains to be pro-relationship. The brain has a mechanism called neuroplasticity. Whatever you focus on, your brain gets better at finding. If you spend your day looking for your partner's flaws, your brain will become a flaw detection machine. You will see every dirty dish, every forgotten chore, and every slight tone of voice as a major problem. But if you spend your day looking for NEMs, blessings, or gratitude, your brain will become a support detection machine. It takes approximately 21 days to form a new neural pathway. Here is a challenge that relationship experts swear by. Every morning, before you check your phone, before you start your coffee, and before you talk to anyone, spend 2 minutes in active gratitude. Specifically, list 3 things your partner does that make your life easier or better. I'm grateful they make the coffee. I'm grateful they are a hard worker. I'm grateful for how they handled the kids yesterday. This isn't just toxic positivity, this is strategic defense. By flooding your brain with these thoughts first thing in the morning, you are building a shield of goodness. When the invisible enemy tries to whisper a negative thought later in the day, like "they're being so lazy today," your brain will have a library of recent positive evidence to fight back with. It will say, "Actually, they aren't lazy. They did X, Y, and Z this morning. They must just be tired." The goal, you aren't changing your partner, you are changing the lens through which you see them. And when you change the lens, the relationship changes automatically. We started this series by talking about how to build a successful marriage. We've covered empathy, clarity, the challenges of the modern world, and now the internal battle for your own perspective. If there is one thing I want you to take away from this entire series, it is this: your partner is not your enemy. The problem is the enemy. The invisible enemy wants you to stand on opposite sides of the room, pointing fingers at each other. Success happens when you both move to the same side of the room and point your fingers at the problem together. Stop being a prosecutor. Stop being a mind reader. Start being a teammate. The fire only burns the foot that steps on it. If your partner's foot is burning, don't ask why they walked into the fire, just help them out of it. Start your 21-day gratitude shield tomorrow morning. Don't tell your partner you're doing it, just do it. Watch how your patience grows and how the invisible enemy loses its voice. Thanks for joining us on this journey to building a foundation that lasts.